Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, so I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on the radio at icradio.media, where we are Fox News affiliates. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast at newscasters.com. We have with us everyone's favorite sports talk show host, and this is AP Steadham, who has been on a long trip in Texas. So you got your cowboy hat and your cowboy boots.
Right, I should have them. They were all around me, Donna. The cowboy hats and the cowboy boots everywhere. They had the players. They actually made a hat for them, Donna, custom, and they would put in different sayings and maybe their name or their school emblem on the hats. And I don't know if some of them had some boots made as well, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was at the 2024 SEC Football Media Days, but hey, Donna, good to see you today.
Yeah, good to see you too. You know, there's something about those Texas cowboy hats. They know how to make them, and
Yeah.
I mean, Phil has one, and I'm gonna tell you, they're just the best. But anyway, love Texas. Phil is from Spring, Texas, just
Okay.
north of Houston. And
Okay.
it's a good area to be from, but we were going to move there once. And so I looked around and I said, there are no mountains, Phil. You know, I'm a mountain girl. So anyway, we stayed put. But anyway, I do love it, and I love visiting. So you had such an awesome day, and you have a film clip. We're going to show that in just a few minutes of one of your interviews, and this is with Auburn, about Auburn. So just a few minutes before we get to that, what was it like?
Yeah, Donna, every day it started off early, probably around 9 o'clock, and I didn't get back to the hotel until about 10 o'clock because once the event would finish, maybe 3:30, 4:30, something like that, then they'd have an event for us. We saw a movie, we had a party, we went to the baseball stadium the following day of the All-Star game. They had a party out there. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, we were tied up till 9, 10 o'clock. So it were some long days, but we had, like I said, a head coach from all the teams, 16 teams, and then each team brought 3 players. So that's, if you didn't interview anybody, that's 64 people that you had a chance to talk to, plus the commissioner, plus the head of officials, and some other people as well. So it was a lot of people that you can discuss football and the things around the game.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get started. It's about 8 minutes or so for the interview, and let's go ahead and get that started. And then we'll be back, and then we'll go into a commercial break, and then we'll finish off, and then you can tell us more about what happened. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Hi, this is AP Steadham of AP and Kelly as we see it syndicated radio live in Dallas, Texas at the 2024 SEC Football Media Days. We're here with a gentleman who's going to discuss the Auburn University Tigers, and our special guest is...
I'm Dan Peck from ESPN 106.7 in Auburn, Opelika, and the Auburn Observer podcast.
Hey, Dan, what are some of the things people should know immediately about the Auburn Tigers this year?
Last season was such a roller coaster. Hugh Freeze had to basically remake the roster on the fly and then find a quarterback after spring practice. I think it's tough for any team to succeed in the SEC under those conditions. And so Auburn with a 6-7 record last year, a little bit disappointing. I think especially the loss to New Mexico State late in the season, the no-show in the bowl game against Maryland. They were able to play really competitive games at home against Alabama and Georgia and Ole Miss, which would indicate this is a team that's close to ready for prime time. And I'm curious to see, after a full off season where a lot of those new faces from last year got to get more comfortable, especially Peyton Thorne, who had to learn everything on the fly. He talked to us about that a little bit in the electronic media room, having to play catch up over the course of the summer after you join a team versus this offseason where he's been QB1 in January. He was QB1 in the spring. He's been QB1 all summer. And you have to imagine that's going to lead to a better, more confident, more productive Peyton Thorne. And if Auburn gets a better Peyton Thorne, I think there's reason to believe they could be a lot better than they were last year.
They could be a big spoiler for a lot of teams. They came so close against Alabama and Georgia, as you mentioned, and Ole Miss they played. I think with the acquisition of those wide receivers, the young talent, and the wide receiver from Penn State is going to be something that will improve this team drastically.
Well, I think Hugh Freeze has made it a point to make the receiver room better to improve the overall talent level of receivers at Auburn, whether it's bringing in the best possible freshmen, including 2 in-state 5-stars in Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman, but also going and getting veterans like Robert Lewis from Georgia State, who was one of the top mid-major receivers who went into the portal this offseason, Keandre Lambert-Smith, who Peyton Thorne faced when he was in the Big Ten, when he was at Michigan State, and Lambert-Smith was at Penn State. They played each other a couple times. Now they're teammates. And speaking of teammates, you've got Sam Jackson, who faced Auburn last year as the quarterback for Cal. He is now playing receiver for Auburn. He went to high school with Peyton Thorne, and we learned in the electronic media room they're living together now as teammates. And we saw a little bit of Sam Jackson as a quarterback. He looked incredibly explosive, and moving that to receiver, I think it just gives Peyton Thorne so many more weapons. He also has coming back Rivaldo Fairweather, one of the top tight ends in the conference, first-year player last year out of FIU. Rivaldo's new to the sport. This is only his 4th or 5th year playing organized football. He's a basketball recruit who decided to move over to tight end. Every year, guys like that seem to get a lot better as they learn the nuances of football. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you had a huge season from Rivaldo Fairweather at tight end.
Yeah, we love tight ends. At the running back position and the offensive line, what can we see from Auburn?
It's a year where a lot of teams in the SEC are looking to replace their leading rusher. Auburn brings back Jarquez Hunter, and they bring back Jeremiah Cobb and Damari Alston. I think Hugh Freeze has 3 guys on scholarship right now that he thinks could be starters, high-level starters in the SEC in his running back room. And, I mean, for Auburn, that's sort of par for the course, right, as a deep, talented running back room. Jarquez Hunter is somebody who could surprise some people. I think he belongs either on the first or second team of the all-conference list in the preseason. This is a big-time running back Auburn brings back.
In the offensive line, will they be able to protect their quarterback?
It's been in previous years. It's been sort of patchwork trying to put together an offensive line. Auburn has 2 tackles: Percy Lewis, the transfer from Mississippi State, Isavian Too-Tall Miller, who played much of the year last year at tackle for Auburn. They've got 2 guys who have been entrenched in those roles all off season long. I think that it's more about fine tuning rather than having to remake everything. Auburn brought in 4 starters last year on the offensive line. They didn't really have to bring in any new starters on the offensive line. They've been able to groom and develop the guys already in-house, and I think that's a luxury for a team to be able to stay in-house with their entire offensive line and work on technique all offseason.
Switching to the defense now, will Auburn have a top of the line the top half of the conference defense?
There are question marks there. I think that Auburn loses some of its most productive players. Marcus Harris was a sensational defensive lineman. Auburn had a couple of defensive backs drafted into the NFL, DJ James, Nehemiah Pritchett, plus Zion Puckett graduating. I mean, you have to replace some productivity there. But Auburn brings back a guy like Keldrick Falk, a 5-star out of Highland Home, Alabama. He was representing the Tigers as a true sophomore, first ever true sophomore to represent Auburn at SEC Media Days. Eugene Asante won a lot of people over in that room with his energy and his work ethic. And then I think in the secondary, Keontae Scott's one of the top defensive backs in the conference. They brought in Bug Thompson from Texas, who played a lot the last couple of years in the Texas secondary. I mean, it's going to be, they have some spots where they need to see more than they've seen so far out of guys, but I think Hugh Freeze overall likes the level of talent he's got defensively.
The kicking game, be some tight ball games. Can the kicker win the game for him?
So right now, kicker's a little bit of a question mark. Alex McPherson, who was wonderful last year, the younger brother of Evan McPherson in the NFL. Alex is dealing with a gastrointestinal issue this summer. It's hoped that he's going to be ready to go for the season. If not, Auburn's going to lean on true freshman kicker Towns Magoo out of Auburn High School, hometown kid who hit a 60-yarder to win the spring game. So Towns Magoo seems ready to go. If Auburn needs him, but they would love Alex to be healthy and ready to go. It's not a football issue with Alex. I think it's more about. When you're talking about intestinal issues, that's about quality of life. That's about the young man getting healthy again, and then he can start to worry about football. Auburn would love to have him back, but they've got an excellent insurance policy in the true freshman from just down the road.
Right. I always feel you can find a punter somehow, some way. Somebody could boot the ball for you to get on the other side of the field, hopefully.
And usually they come from Australia, is the way it seems like now. Oscar Chapman, yet another outback punter that Auburn is leaning on, and he's been a weapon the last couple of years. I think Auburn really likes what they've got there at special teams. I mean, you bring back Alex McPherson if healthy, you bring back Oscar Chapman, and your leading returner last year, Keontae Scott. Jarquez Hunter's done a lot of returning too. I think Auburn feels pretty good about what they've got in the special teams.
Any evolution of Coach Hugh Freeze?
He's going to. It sounds like he's going to roll his sleeves up and get a little bit more involved offensively this season. He replaced offensive coordinator Philip Montgomery he promoted Kent Austin, who was already on staff as an analyst. He also went and got Derek Nix from Ole Miss. But it seems like Hugh Freeze is going to be running more of his pure vision of the offense rather than a compromise of what he wants to do and what Philip Montgomery wants to do, which was a marriage of two different styles. And I think Hugh Freeze thinks it's going to work because he's upgraded the talent at wide receiver and because the offensive line should be better. And I think, scheme and philosophy are part of it, but I think he recognizes that a lot of the problems last year had to do with who was out there.
Talent, for sure, no question about it. They had wide receivers that were not really SEC capable, I think. So it put Peyton Thorne at a huge disadvantage. Anything that we did not address.
No, I mean, I think Hugh Freeze talked about that. I mean, it can play on a quarterback when he's not necessarily confident in what he's doing because it's all very new, or if he's not necessarily confident in his teammates' ability to execute. Like that's gonna limit an offense, and I think Auburn is hoping that's the story of the past, and that they can move on to something else.
Moving forward in a good way. Hey, Dan, I want to thank you so much. This is AP Steadham of AP and Kelly, as we see it, syndicated radio live from Dallas, Texas, 2024 SEC Football Media Day.
Okay, folks, we're going to have lots more to talk about. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show where truth matters. Always great to have AP Steadham with us, and been with us for years. And we're lucky to have that. Don't go anywhere, AP. You stuck with us. You can find AP at IC Radio, which is a Fox News affiliate. You can find AP every Friday, AP and Kelly as we see it, beginning at 4 p.m. Now, that's Central Time for you folks as well. Okay, AP, you had a great week last week. So let's talk a little bit more about it. What were you most enthusiastic about?
Well, Donna, the enthusiasm, as you mentioned, that was prevalent with every team. It's nice to see everybody in a good mood. Even though some of the coaches, like for instance, Sam Pittman of Arkansas, he knows he's under pressure to win this year. And he hired Bobby Petrino to be the offensive coordinator, the former Arkansas head coach. But it's nice to see everybody in good spirits, and there's mentioning all the people on their team that could help them win and some of the changes they've made. And it was just good. And it was good to see people from around the country, the media members. We don't get together that often in one centralized location. So that was fun as well. And then it was in Dallas, Texas, brand new location for the SEC football media days. And like I said, we stayed at the Loft in Dallas downtown, which is a great property. They were very nice to us. And we want to thank Alex Cruz and his staff who took care of us all week.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Lots of excitement. A lot of folks have sent emails here lately, and it's about a few things that are happening that are different within college football, but it seems like the enthusiasm is still there. I don't think that's going anywhere.
No, I don't believe so. People they have an issue with change. People in life, it's difficult for some people, but this is the life. Change is inevitable, and it happens every day, every year, and every decade. So college football, it's moving in a different direction now. It's more professionalized. And I asked people, I said, look, if you don't like to watch it, that's fine. But I don't think you're going to watch them play tiddlywinks somewhere. You're going to watch football. Mm-hmm. Okay. So all you need to be worried about is the game on that day, your team. Turn on the TV and watch it, and all those other things which are out of your control, out of everybody's control. Just enjoy your team.
We were away for just a few days last week. Went to South Carolina, and I just got to tell you, here in Alabama, you visit this state, the first words out of our mouth is always, "Are you from Alabama or Auburn?" Well, in South Carolina, it's who are you for? I mean, everybody has, every state has their team, so it's Clemson and South Carolina there.
Correct. Yes, it is. It sure is.
And it's heading out there towards northern folks. So I talked with a lady who's from New York who happened to be in that area. And she said, I couldn't we've always been pro up north. She said, but I'm turning into a southerner. I love college football. Yes. So I know you spoke with quite a few folks. So let's talk about some of those. Yeah,
we had one of the interesting interviews we did, and they can watch all this on my Facebook page and my personal page and the show's page, AP and Kelly As We See It. We interviewed a basketball player, Ron Slade, from the University of Tennessee. He's on a radio station in Nashville. Ron's about 6'8", but he was very knowledgeable about the football team. So I try to get different people down and different perspectives, but he was very knowledgeable, and I really enjoyed that interview. And the things that he told me about the Tennessee football team. So if you get a chance to watch it, Ron's big personality, and as you can tell, he's taller than me because I was looking up when I was doing the interview. But I enjoyed that. I had some friends from who cover University of Texas, and I made try to make it fun because I said, well, Texas thinks they're bigger and better, so we're going to pacify them. We're going to have 2 people doing the interview instead of just one. So, and they're good friends of mine.
That's true. I married one of them. They're bigger than life.
Right. Matter of fact, we did an interview with 2 people and 1 person. So we interviewed 3 people for the University of Texas to just pacify them. And then, of course, the new Oklahoma is in the league. And so I got a chance to visit with my friend Dean Blevins. He was a former quarterback at Oklahoma, award-winning TV broadcaster there for many, many years. Always wins the Broadcaster of the Year award. So that was great to speak with Dean. And, we spoke to someone from every school. And one school, Mississippi State, I have to do a little report out of I had an issue with my video, but that's okay. But we have a report on almost every single team. There are 16 teams, so I think we put up 15 reports that people can review. I did the one for Alabama myself because I know quite a bit about Alabama, as people understand. So that was fun, but a lot of optimism. I think it's, everybody's still chasing Georgia, as we know, and Texas is the kind of the team everybody gravitated to challenge Georgia and playing the championship game. They figured Texas and Georgia, and they played during the regular season. So that's going to be something. And then I think there's going to be probably 3 to 4 teams make the 12-team playoff from the Southeastern Conference, I believe, Donna. So, and then the bowl games, you could have up to, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 teams in the bowl games out of the 16 from the Southeastern Conference. That could happen. Yeah.
Let's get to Auburn just for a minute, because I really listened to that interview several times.
Yes.
Do you feel more optimistic? Do you think Auburn has a better chance this year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The coach felt confident. The quarterback definitely felt confident because he knows now he has some receivers that can support him fully. They have the athleticism down. If the ball is thrown in the air, he feels confident they're going to stab it out of the air, make the reception for him. So that's a completely different feeling, Donna, when you're the quarterback and you have that positive feeling about your receivers having some height, some athletic ability, and they have the transfer from Penn State as well, Keandre Lambert-Smith, and then the 2 freshmen, Cam Coleman. He's a tall receiver, 6'3", 6'4", and Perry Thompson, he's 6'3", 6'4" as well. So those are gifted people athletically, and now they just have to catch the football. But Auburn on the field, they're going to be more productive. There's no question. And then they have, we have to remember, they have that tight end, Rivaldo Fairweather, who transferred in from Florida International University. He's one of the top 10 ends in the conference. So that means less people can guard him now because they have other options on the perimeter. You have to take care of those people. So the tight end will be better probably because they have the influx of the wide receivers. And then you have the running backs, or Jaquez Hunter. He's a good SEC running back. So Auburn's offense should be, I'm going to say, I don't know, is it going to be 100 yards better per game? Something. I'm just using that number as a benchmark. But so that puts more pressure on the other team's defense. Consequently, Auburn's defense will get a chance to relax on the sideline. They'll be fresh. They won't be worn out like they were at the end of last season. Yeah.
We had a question from Wayne, and I thought it was a really interesting question. And he said, do you think some of the quarterbacks could be looking for a team that is just like it's on the bottom in their way to do kind of like a Lee Iacocca, where you make this big comeback and to be a hero? I would think that would be in the thought process. Right.
I mean, the quarterbacks, Donna, they're always looking to see if they're getting the opportunity, because we know at that position, Donna, you're not shuffling in and out of the lineup. The coach picks the quarterback, and they're going to be the quarterback for 98% of the plays probably during the season. So in the springtime, in the fall camp, the preseason camp, you're competing. And then once that selection is made, unless the other person is injured, you're probably going to be on the bench watching the game. So quarterbacks, that position, you're more likely to transfer, because if you're a cornerback, you're a defensive tackle, you're going to get the opportunity because they're, you're trying to rush the passers. So the big defensive linemen get winning, so they swap that position out frequently. Cornerbacks, you're running up and down the field with these receivers. You're swapping out from time to time because you want to prevent fatigue. the coaches are watching you and counting the number of plays you're out there. So, but the quarterback, once that's established, you're probably on the sideline if you're not the number one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought about that myself. I thought Wayne had a good question. So you could be the one actually, and there are a lot of factors. You have to do a lot of research about the team. If it's
Yes, you do.
just the team needs to be motivated, I think you could make it happen. I really do. But if it's something to do with the administration part of it or different factors that are in there, it'd be hard to turn the whole thing around. And it's not just up to the quarterback. You got to work as a team.
No, you need the quarterback needs support. Offensive line, number one. You need the center to snap the ball. And we found that that's not so easy sometimes. We saw in the Alabama-Michigan Rose Bowl game. But you have to protect the quarterback. He's got to have people who are catching the football for him, running the right routes. It's got to be in a timely manner because we know passing is all rhythm. And we need running backs who can get through those open windows at the point of attack. And they can catch the football as well. So you have all the options when you're being pressured. You want to be able to say, I'm confident my running back will catch the football. I'm confident my tight end will catch the football. I'm confident my receivers, if it's the defensive back is close by, he will outfight the defensive back for the football. So that's all, and it's psychologically, Donna, subconsciously or consciously, the quarterback is thinking about the capability of his players.
If you had to pick top 5, just based on this past week of your interviews, and that kind of thing, who would you pick now?
The top 5 teams.
Yeah.
You have to start with Georgia. I'd say Texas. I would say Alabama. I would say I like that Missouri team. I just think that they're poised to have another good season. And then I would say Ole Miss. But Ole Miss has brought in so many transfers. They were 11-2. They lost to Georgia and Alabama, the 2 top teams. And now, if Ole Miss is going to make a move, Donna, this is the year. It's now or never for Lane Kiffin because he has his quarterback for multiple years, brought in all the transfers he needs at the various positions, especially on defense. He has 2 of the best wide receivers, good running backs, quarterback, offensive line. So if Ole Miss, I think of all the teams, Donna, outside of Georgia, of course, and maybe Texas, if Ole Miss faltered this season, that'd be the biggest disappointment to me.
Well, we have a lot of folks who are promising to listen from South Carolina now since we made a splash over there. So the question that was asked for me to ask you,
yes,
Clemson versus South Carolina, how do you see those two faring out?
Yeah, I can't remember where that game's being played, but it probably doesn't matter. But Clemson is a stronger team right now, and South Carolina, they're grooming a new quarterback, Sellers, and then they have Robbie Ashford, the transfer from Auburn as well. But they're trying to improve defensively because they couldn't stop teams last year. So I would say right now Clemson has the edge overall because they have better talent. And so you have to go with the better talent initially until we see some football games. Now, maybe this quarterback, these set of quarterbacks for South Carolina will surprise me. That could happen. And then when you play that one game, if you can keep it close and you work on the minds of the other team who's the favorite, the longer you stay close, then they start to doubt themselves. It creeps in. And so if you stay close at the end, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to have to call it today. About 30 seconds left in this segment. What would you like to tell the folks before you go?
Oh, yeah. Just every Friday, 4 p.m. Central on IC Radio. We have AP and Kelly as we see it. We're trying to get my friend Alan Barry, he's an author. He knows a lot about SEC. We're trying to get him on the show this week and go back and look at all those interviews we did. We took a lot of time and to acquire all this knowledge about every single team. I said, except I don't have Mississippi State up there, but check out your team on our reports. We did interviews with people who cover those teams on a daily basis.
Absolutely. AP, thank you so much. And always appreciate you and Kelly coming on that station. Definitely. IC Radio, where truth matters, Fox News affiliates as well. And thank you so much for watching. I know you could be doing anything else, but you're watching us right now. And we sure do appreciate it. Thank you for so many years of support. And thank you again, AP.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you. My pleasure.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.